We must have lost it on that road. Oh well. We've arrived at Natural Bridges National Monument. Right below us is Sipapu Bridge. It is the largest arch formation in the park and the second largest in the world after Rainbow Bridge, which is also in Utah. Right below us lie the Horse Collar ruins, which were built by the ancestral Pueblo between 1150 and 1300.
Did you find them?
Uh-huh. The ruins get their unusual name because the doorways to those two ruins right there actually resemble horse collars. The ruins were abandoned by the ancestral Pueblo around 700 years ago. Wow, incredible. Behind me is Oachoma Arch, and there are only three natural arches located within the park, and this one is the smallest, but it has the shortest trail, only half a mile round trip. So if you're kind of just passing through and only have time for one trail, I would recommend this one. It is also the most beautiful in the park. I keep calling them arches, but they're actually natural bridges because there is a difference. Arches are actually more round, like a half circle, and bridges, as you can see, are flat on the top. And also arches are created mainly by wind, weathering, erosion, and crumbling of rocks, while these natural bridges are created by flowing water. can really see just the sheer enormity of these arches, and believe it, this is the smallest of the 3 arches in the park, so imagine how big the other 2 must look from the bottom. Wow, you really have to get up close to it to really appreciate the size, because from above it doesn't look that big. Oh yeah, this one truly is the most beautiful. I'm now making my way to the Hovenweep ruins, stopping off at Mule Canyon. Well, we've stopped at the Mule Canyon ruins, which wasn't our plans either, but I saw on the map, so thought we'd check it out. Pretty cool ruins. These were also home of the ancestral Pueblo, first in 750, that was only briefly, then a longer occupation lasted from the year 1000 until 1150. Have a look. This right here was the kiva, which was used to conduct religious ceremonies, and I always thought they were located above ground, but here you can see how deep underground it really went, and normally they would have ladders, and this would be covered, and they would just go in there and conduct all their religious ceremonies. Yeah, see right here they would put a ladder right here, and then there's the entrance right there. They would go in this way.
There were small people, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this would normally have a roof on top of it. This is actually the only known kiva to actually have an underground tunnel running to the main pueblo. There's a tunnel right there, and it came out somewhere over there. Right here we have the remains of what was once a tall tower, but now it's not so tall anymore, and not much of a tower anymore. Cool. This actually wasn't a very big pueblo, because the entire pueblo only had 12 rooms. I'm amazed at how well preserved this is, especially that kiva, and especially since these ruins aren't even well known to tourists. These are really off the beaten path. Amazing. Another unplanned stop that was definitely worth it.
Co to zajazd? Oh man, cool. Oh, this is cool.
Oh, those mountains over there are already in Colorado. Well, we finally arrived in Hovenweep. I was hoping to see some ruins today, but we got here later than I thought, and by the time we set up camp, it was already too late, so I decided that I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow morning to visit the ruins. And here's our tent and our campsite where we're going to be staying the night. It cost only $10 for one night, and the ruins are just, the trail starts just a few yards from our campsite, so I'm just gonna call it a day for today and go check out the ruins first thing tomorrow morning.
Hey, young, hey, young, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, hey, young, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, hey, young, titika, ayashtot, le, koga, ashishni, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, hey, yang, niti, das, tui, haish, kashishni, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, hey, yang, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, yana, ana, opa, yeah, hey, yang,
We're in Hovenweep, and this area actually consists of 5 different villages, and they were built by the ancestral Pueblo, and the construction started as early as 1100 when the first people came to these canyons, and continued all the way until 1275. And today they stretch from Utah all the way across the border into Colorado. And although there are 5 of them, I'm only going to be visiting one of them because that's all I have time for. So I've chosen to visit the Square Tower unit, as I heard these are the most interesting of the 5 villages. Now, most of the buildings in Hovenweep were constructed between 1230 and 1275 when the population here was at its peak, and in fact most of the buildings we see here today date from that era, which is around the same time Mesa Verde was constructed. Okay, the structure is Hovenweep Castle, the largest structure in the park, and this isn't an actual castle like where a king and queen would live. It was actually home to just ordinary farmers, but due to the massive size of it, it was archaeologists who actually named it Hovenweep Castle. Architecture is called Square Tower, and we'll be seeing a few more of them around here later. Rimrock House, and this one has sort of puzzled archaeologists because it wasn't a living creature, so they're not not exactly sure what it was used for. Maybe defense. And rim rock is a climbing term that means that you climb yourself into a position where you can't down. So that might have had something to do with it. Maybe it was strategically placed so that anyone who would try to climb up to get to it would get a rim rod.